Good afternoon, everyone. This is Geneva Marie, the Healthy Warrior Mom. Just wanted to talk to you today about the difference between folic acid and folate. This is important to the sickle cell community because folic acid is one of the medications that they are prescribed daily, and it's something that they have to take for the rest of their lives. At 5 weeks old, Dylan was prescribed 1,000 micrograms of folic acid that he needed to take for the rest of his life. After doing some research and some studies, I realized that folic acid wasn't the best thing for him to be taking, and I switched him over to folate. So I wanted to share with you some of the differences. Now, the medical community does use the term folic acid and folate interchangeably, but there is a difference. The first thing to point out is folic acid is the synthetic version of folate. So folate is naturally occurring. It's a naturally occurring B vitamin in foods like dark leafy green vegetables, beets, lentils, and citrus fruits. Those all have the B vitamin folate. Now, folic acid is created in a lab in an attempt to mimic folate. Now, how that affects your body or the difference in how folate is processed in your body versus folic acid is folate is metabolized in the mucosal lining of your small intestine, while folic acid is metabolized in the liver. And there's a specific enzyme that is needed in the body to metabolize folic acid. And there's a small amount of it in the liver, which leaves a large portion of the folic acid unmetabolized. Now, what happens with that extra folic acid that's unmetabolized? Now it's floating around your body and it's doing harm. So it's in your circulation and it's doing harm. And one of the things that they noticed in some retroactive review of studies of patients on folic acid is that there's an increased risk of cancer, specifically colon cancer and prostate cancer. Okay, so increased risk in cancer, and they also saw an increased risk in heart disease. Okay, and it has something to do with the way folic acid interacts with homocysteine. Not sure of the anatomy and physiology of that portion of it, but they did see an increase in heart disease as well as cancer. They also saw not just colon cancer and prostate cancer, but they also saw an increase in breast cancer. That one is less likely to occur. Colon and prostate were the most likely to occur. The other thing is to point out, not everyone has that enzyme that's necessary to process folic acid. So there are some people who have small amounts of it in the liver, but there are some people who don't have any of it. So all of the folic acid that they take is unmetabolized and it's floating around their body causing harm. So that's something to consider as well. Folic acid is not just a supplement, right? So you can take folic acid. Pregnant women are advised to take folic acid, as well as sickle cell patients. So this is something that doesn't just affect sickle cell patients, but it affects, the general population. They talk about neural tube defects and folic acid being able to prevent neural tube defects. And that's why in 1998, they mandated that foods be fortified with folic acid. And so say you're not taking a folic acid supplement, but you're eating cereal and rice that's been fortified, your body may also have this unmetabolized folic acid floating around because of the foods that have been fortified with folic acid. And if you are taking folic acid and, eating these foods, so you're not looking at 1,000 micrograms in your supplement, you're looking at 1,000 micrograms plus all of the other folic acid that you've taken in during the day that's been fortified in your food, or your foods that have been fortified with it. So pay attention to the labels of the food that you're eating. I recommend taking folate to reduce the risk. You know, sometimes you don't know what's in your food. You know, you eat out and you're eating somewhere where you can't read a label. You may not know that you're getting food that's been fortified with folic acid, but if you're taking a supplement, you have control over what supplements you take. And the supplement that I have for Dylan, it's a metformin. So now if you're looking for folate, you should look for folate with metformin. So metforlin, metformin, or 5-MTHF, methyl tetrahydrofolate. Methyl tetrahydrofolate. If you're looking to purchase a supplement, again, I'm going to do a full written blog on this so that I can list all the foods to get folate in, and the supplements that we take with folate. But if you're taking a supplement, there are supplements that have folate. So if it's a multivitamin, there's definitely a multivitamin with folate and not folic acid. But be intentional about looking for supplements with folate and foods that have not been fortified with folic acid. I hope that's been helpful. Leave your comments in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to Healthy Warrior Mom.